Newcastle. Here we go. We don't want to go to St James's, do we?
We certainly don't.
No,
but
we're going to St James's. We are going to St James's Park, Newcastle away. Oh, God. See, this is what I was worried about, getting a draw like that very early on. Newcastle, Tottenham travel to Newcastle. People are not happy, I don't think, with the Newcastle away. Arsenal play Brighton. Swansea play Man City. Newcastle play Spurs. Wrexham, Cardiff. Liverpool, Palace. Wolves, Chelsea. Wickham, Fulham. Brian, Newcastle away in the 4th round of the Carabao. What is your instant reaction to that? It's a tough draw.
It really is.
I know Newcastle have lost Isaac.
Yep.
This summer has been a difficult start to the season. I think they've only won one game, haven't they, this season? Had obviously the long Isaac saga, but it is still Newcastle at St James's Park. It's not going to be an easy game. I don't know when the game is going to be played. It says, it's in October. So fixtures are played week of October the 27th.
Oh, great. I fly back on that day, so let's hope. No, the 28th.
So October, we're in between Everton away and Chelsea at home. So that is not an easy time to play Newcastle away in that midweek there. So we're going to have to somehow, we're going to have to play, Everton away is a tough game.
Yep.
Chelsea at home is obviously a massive game. Sandwiched in between those two is Newcastle at St James's Park. Long trip up there as well. We're not going to be able to afford to rest players like we did today.
No.
If we're going to get through, that is. So, what's your reaction to the draw?
Well, first of all, we are due a result at Newcastle, aren't we? After some horror shows there recently, starting with the Conte, or was it Conte still or Stellini 6-1? Conte, wasn't it? Conte was it or Stellini at 6? No, Stellini, and Stellini got the sack, and then Mason took over. Then the 4-1, I think, and then we just need to go to Newcastle and get a result. But of all the away grounds, I wouldn't have wanted to go to, apart from Anfield, it would have been Newcastle for a late night game under the lights. The Geordie faithful in full voice as they always are, and just the simple travel that we've got. And like you said, we've got Everton. So straight after Everton, it's the game between Everton away and Chelsea home.
Yeah. Okay,
so the fixtures come thick and fast now, and if you're going to win it, you got to play the big ones. And we've just the current champions.
They are the holders. We are playing the holders, Newcastle United. It's going to be a very, very tough game. Always a tough game at St James's Park, especially a cup fixture as well. The crowd are going to be up for it. Getting Tottenham to that stadium, there's going to be a big atmosphere at the St James's Park Stadium, like there always is. We saw earlier in the season when they played Liverpool. I know they lost, but that wasn't, for me, evidence of what St James's Park, how it can just become a special place and how it can elevate the Newcastle players. They played a majority of that game with 10 men, and yet came back from 2-0 down. Should have really gotten a point. So unlucky in the last minute to concede. That just goes to show how just weird things happen at St James's Park. It can just elevate the team. The crowd, once they get up for it and once they get behind the team, they become a different force, and it's like they're a different team all of a sudden. And also, in a month's time, will Voltmeda be more settled? Visser will be back from injury. They're going to have a lot more of these players available. Gordon's obviously, he's suspended at the moment, but he's going to be back in the very near future. It is exactly the kind of draw I was worried about when we were literally speaking before the draw was made. When I was saying, I reckon FA Cup we got a chance, but I'm not sure about Carabao, because if we get this type of draw this early on in his tenure, I'm worried we're not going to make it through. And we have now got this draw. We'll have to see. Maybe we can spring a surprise. Do you think Newcastle are favourites?
Right now, I'd probably say no, because of how Newcastle started the season. If we're talking about, forget the fans and the stadium, Right now, I'd probably say no. I'd probably say we are. But obviously, we've got, 4 weeks until that game. A lot can change. And then on the night, obviously, that stadium is my favourite away day. It's my favourite away day stadium as well. I love St James's Park. We know what it's like there. And we shall have to wait and see. But I think if we were to base it on the football teams right now, I would say we're favourites.
Yeah. I would say I would put Newcastle favourites, to be honest, because you got to remember they're also, Eddie Howe's been there a while. They're a much more settled team. Mm-hmm. They know what he demands. They're the holders as well. They know how to win this competition. Frank is still very early on in his Spurs tenure, so I know it's all going great results-wise anyway right now. He's going to go through some sticky patches, and in fact, that when that game is played is likely when that sticky patch is going to be, because that's likely when it's going to start. Everton away, Newcastle away, then Chelsea at home. Massive week. That starts off a big week, and a big hard run of games for Tottenham, because after that we got Copenhagen and United and Arsenal and then PSG. So a really tough run of games for Tottenham coming up in basically right when this run is. And if it was sandwiched between two kind of games where we can maybe rest players in those, let's say it was in between like Wolves and Burnley or something, and maybe you can rest players for the Wolves game, play full strength at Newcastle, and then maybe rest a few again for or go full strength again for Burnley, whatever. But in these games, if we're going to get or win all three, we're going to have to go full strength in all three. That's the truth.
Well, you got that, but you look at it, we could have Solanke back. So it could be Solanke, Mawani, and Richarlison. We've spoken about the left winger. Hopefully. We've spoken about in previous streams and the strength in midfield. So I don't think he'll go as heavily rotated as what he's done for them. But we are assessing a squad, aren't we? If you look at it, we could have three choices for a centre forward, like I just said. There's strength and depth in the defence. Now that we've seen Paulinho go back there. So barring injuries to us, I think we can handle it. Whether we can get the results in all three, that's my point. I think we're going to need, for me, I think in all three of those games, we're going to need our best 11 to win, if we're going to win all three. And we might not win all three. Maybe he just takes a risk in the Carabao and says, look, I'm going to throw in Gray, I'm going to throw in Danso, I'm going to throw in other players who need an opportunity, Kinski. I'm going to throw these players in, and they are good players, and maybe we can get a result with them. I just feel like Newcastle probably, because they're not, they're also in Champions League, aren't they? Yeah.
I feel that they're probably going to go full strength. And we're going to have to match that, I feel, if we're going to get through. And are we going to go full strength in all three of those games? Is he going to have to rotate somewhere? It's going to be interesting. Obviously, nothing to worry about right now. We'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it in terms of what the state of the squad is. Come then, we'll have to see. Maybe we have injuries back then, or we have more injuries that we anticipate going into those games. But Newcastle away is always a game that you can never really go into it thinking we're going to win this. There's always a game where everyone goes away to Newcastle fearing the worst.
Yeah, it is a very, very tough place to go. What I will say to what he says, well, he could rotate. Like I said, when you said throw a Danso in, throw a Gray in, I think Kevin Danso deserves more opportunity. I think he's honestly such a good defender. Obviously, I know the partnership of Mickey and Romero is the greatest one we've got at the moment, and they're superb together. But I think Kevin Danso is a superb defender. And if he was at other clubs, he would be getting more first-team minutes because he'd be a first choicer. I think he's that good. Then Archie Gray, if he can carry on building on what he did today in the midfield, so they're throwing them in, and then you can stack the bench, can't you?
Yeah.
You can stack the bench and say, right, I've got no desire to play you whatsoever. The players, he does rotate, but should I need you, you're coming on. So they get a rest so they don't play all three. So maybe there will be a more rotated squad or more relaxed squad than the prime choice first team 11 for those 2 Premier League games.
If we can get through that tie, though, wow, what a confidence boost that give everyone. And all of a sudden, you get through that tie and you're thinking, bring on whoever.
Correct.
And you'll be confident. That is our reaction to the 4th round Carabao Cup draw against Newcastle at St James's Park. Massive draw. It's now your chance to have your say. The link is in the chat if you want to come on and give your reaction to obviously the 3-0 win against Doncaster and the draw against Newcastle. What are your thoughts?